Welcome to the Wise Doula podcast, a place for informative, uplifting, and educational conversations. Here, we will discuss all things connected with parenting, from conception to birth, postpartum, and beyond. You are amongst friends here, so go ahead and grab a cup of your favorite drink. Remember, not caffeinated if you are expecting, and join me inside. I can't wait to speak with you. Well, hello and welcome to the podcast today. The episode I have for you today is amazing. We have called it The Forgotten Prince. What to do to prepare your little ones for the arrival of a new baby. The arrival of a new baby is such an exciting time, right? The parents are excited, you're excited. Maybe you've been looking for this pregnancy for a while and it has finally happened. There is a lot of excitement, right? There is joy, there is expectation, there are changes in the family, there is looking forward to the future. The parents are generally super excited. So, from the point of view of the adults, everything is wonderful. Well, they're excited, so their child will be excited too, right? So, there is a lot of excitement and joy and a little bit of that trepidation, maybe, in getting ready for this baby, planning, etc. Now, let's think about what's happening from the point of view of a child. The child doesn't know what's happening. He or she hears of change. He or she sees mom's body changing. They see change. They see excitement. They see mom's body changing. They don't quite know what to make of it. And to illustrate this point, let me read you a story. This is from a book called Pecan Pie Baby. I won't be reading the whole book, but we will read a couple of excerpts. And Pecan Pie Baby is written by Jacqueline Woodson and illustrated by Sophia Blackhole. There is always room for a sweet addition to the family. A new baby is big news. This is the summary. Gia's new baby brother or sister hasn't even been born yet, and already is everything everyone talks about. She's worried if the baby's such a big deal. If the baby's such a big deal now, what's going to happen to her cozy, nice life with Mama once it's born? But Mama knows just how to soothe her worries and show her that the future will be sweet. Let's read a couple of excerpts. When my friend Michaela slept over, she said, Your mama better not put that baby in my bed, right? Because then where would I sleep? Man, I was thinking that ding dang baby is going to try to take the place of my sleepover friends. Some days I sat on my stoop thinking about all the years it had just been me and Mama, about us drinking hot chocolate and telling silly stories, about the mornings I jumped into her bed when it was still blue pink outside, snuggling up to her while she tried to keep on sleeping. Now that baby was going to change everything. You know what I'm going to miss the most when the baby comes, Gia? Mama asked. I know what I'm going to miss the most, I said. My whole life before the ding dang baby. Yeah, before the ding dang baby. Guess what? Mama said. I'm gonna miss that too. For real, Mama? For real. Those were the good old days. Mama smiled. Guess you're gonna have to tell the baby all about it. I guess I am. So, what we see in this book is, in a very beautiful and gentle way, what the book is telling us is, again, what's happening in the child's mind. We have a young sibling, 3, 4, 5, 6, that doesn't know what to expect. Everybody around is excited about this baby. They're not excited. They're not sure what's going on. Mama's body is changing. Things are changing. Is their entire life going to change? Is this baby going to take the throne and they're going to be like the forgotten prince or princess without a throne? What is going to happen to them? They won't be the center of attention anymore. The nice things they had with mom and dad and everybody at home might just go away. Maybe the whole family is excited about the baby, but this little sibling, not so excited, not so sure, doesn't know what to do. And yes, jealousy can definitely develop, and it is a normal part of growing up. So, what do we do to prepare children for the arrival of a sibling? What do we do to ensure their emotions are safeguarded while also taking care of the emotions of mom, dad, and this new baby? Right? We want to create a well balanced family. We want to provide for everybody. What can we do? Okay, first of all, communication, communication. We want to be very open with this sibling and tell them about the pregnancy right away. As soon as the pregnancy is showing, it's time to tell them. Okay? We don't want to hide it from them. We don't want to wait a long time. No, no, no. We tell them right away. We explain that they are going to have a baby sibling. We do not oversell or embellish the baby. We talk about how babies are beautiful and we're going to love them, but babies also have a lot of specific needs. They need more attention, they need help with feeding, with changing. They are going to cry a lot more. We prepare them for what it is going to be living with a new baby. Okay? Another thing we do is we incorporate them into the process of the pregnancy as much as possible. Let's give them opportunities to spend extra time with mom and with dad, extra playtime, extra reading time, so they know that they are still an essential part of the family. Let's bring them to doctor's appointments if possible. Let's bring them to ultrasounds. Remember, we're teaching them science too. We're teaching them about the development of their baby brother or sister. If it's appropriate, by all means, bring them to ultrasound appointments and doctor's appointments. Let's find books that are appropriate to their age level, books with real pictures, and show them what is happening inside of mommy's belly. Okay? It is invaluable for them to understand what's going on and what's happening. Also, very important to answer their questions. Children have natural curiosity, and I can tell you that because my goodness, all the years I spent in the classroom teaching little ones, they would ask the most incredible questions, okay? And remember, number one, they have that natural curiosity. Number two, they're aware of everything that is going on around them. You might think they don't know what's going on around them, but they always know. And adults tiptoeing around them and not telling them what's happening, that doesn't help children. Adults that establish a good communication with their little ones and tell them what to expect are preparing them better for what's to come. Okay? Now, emotionally, there are going to be changes. So it's not only talking about the pregnancy, the development of the baby, the changes in mom, the changes in the family. It's also talking about how right now you were the youngest, you were spending all this time with mommy and daddy. It's okay, we're still going to spend time with you. It's just you need to know that babies need a lot of extra care. And yes, sometimes you will be able to help us take care of the baby, like reading them a story when they're about to take a nap. But other times it's going to have to be mommy and daddy. Okay, you cannot help us with the diapers because you're little. You cannot help us with breastfeeding or bottle feeding because you're little. So there are going to be times when we need to spend time with the baby. But we're always going to make sure that we spend time with you as well. And we want you to know that we love you 1,000%. Again, with my background, my teaching background, I'm going to recommend the book A Pocket Full of Kisses or a similar book, where we talk about how love doesn't get divided but multiplied. In A Pocket Full of Kisses, uh, Rodney is worried because he had a baby sibling, and he thinks that his mom is not going to have enough love for both. But the mom tells him that I don't just have one kiss for you, I have a pocket full of kisses to give to you and your brother and everybody else. So that's the concept we want to share with them, that love doesn't divide, it multiplies, that we're still going to love them and spend time with them. That yes, there are going to be changes happening with this new baby coming, and that's okay. And definitely open the arena for them to ask questions. Tell them, what questions do you have? What would you like to know? And just let mommy or daddy know of the questions you come up with, because we want to make sure that we answer all your questions, okay? Because children live in a world of their own, okay? Especially when they're very young, the veil between fantasy and reality is, they're still defining that difference between fantasy and reality. So a lot of times they're looking at it from a very fantastic point of view. They're sort of making on their own assumptions, and that's all fine. That's part of their psychological development. But that's where us as adults come in and say, hey, ask us any questions you have. You are important. You matter. You're going to be a big brother or big sister now. And this baby is going to need you too. And it's okay if you're unsure, if you're worried about mommy and daddy not spending time with you. We will make sure we will spend time with you as well. And let's look at things together. Let's bring you to the doctor's appointment. Let's bring you to that ultrasound. And let's make sure that you know what is going on with this pregnancy, with this baby. Jealousy, like we said before, it's something that might very well happen, to be expected. And like my psychology professor in college used to say, jealousy is a normal part of being human and having siblings. And it is better that that jealousy is expressed when you're little, when you're a little child, because when it's not expressed as a little child, it gets kind of tucked inside and then it blows up in other ways when we're adults. I'll never forget when she taught us that in class. So be prepared for some jealousy, for some comments, or more crying, or maybe regressing a little bit in their behaviors. Some of those things might happen, and it's absolutely fine. Okay? You know your child best. You know the things you need to do to prepare this child for this new baby. And if you're not quite sure, lean on your friendly neighborhood doula, your childbirth educator. We will definitely help you with that. Bring those lessons and that information to your um, other children. Lean on your family, lean on your peers, okay? Lean on both peers and professionals. We can help you with this process, okay? We want this process to go smoothly. And of course, again, no instruction manual. So you're going to have to do your absolute best. That's all we can do. Talk to your child about the baby coming, prepare them in the best way possible. And then once the baby's here, then you're also going to have to work on how do I schedule time with my child throughout the week so they know that they're still cared for and they matter. And how do I involve my child in the care of their baby sibling so they know that they are part of that equation also. So that's what's really important in this case. Um, just because they're little, it doesn't mean that their emotions are not big. Just because they're little, it doesn't mean that they don't understand what's going on. Like I said, they understand more than we think. And they watch and they feel what everybody's feeling, right? If the parents are joyful, if the parents are sad, if the parents are worried, children are observing and absorbing all of that. So please never take them out of the equation. Always, always incorporate them into conversation. Always give them that peace of mind of knowing what's going on. And always look at them not as tiny adults, because they're not. Look at them as the small human beings that they are, developing, understanding the world, developing psychologically, emotionally, mentally, physically, and think about, as a parent, how can I best support their development and make sure they adjust to this new baby in the best way possible. Okay? Not a process to fear, just a process to plan, a process to work on. And like I said, your best tool is leaning on your doula, your childbirth educator, and your peers or family that can support you in this process. They've probably gone through it already. They've gone through it themselves or with a previous client, and they can throw you a hand so you feel better prepared to talk and discuss these topics. And of course, you have wonderful resources at your disposal, right? There's always videos on YouTube, um, songs, books that you can read with your child. There is always videos on YouTube, songs, books that you can read with your child. You have many, many tools at your disposal. And the biggest one is you have that understanding of what they need and you are going to give it to them. Okay? And you're going to be wonderful. I know that. Okay. So, in wrapping up our episode, hydration break. Drink some water, please. Delicious. Okay. So, for our word of the week, last week I told you our word of the week today would be primipara. And we can also use the word primigravida. So, what does that word mean? And it sounds really convoluted. So, primi means first in Latin, and gravida means pregnant. Okay? So, a primigravida is a first time mother who is pregnant. And this is a term that is used in medical terms. So this is not a colloquial term. You wouldn't hear somebody say, I'm a primigravida. You know, your friend is not going to go, oh, I'm a primigravida. But the doctor would use, the midwife would use that terminology. And of course, I am thinking of an episode of Called the Midwife where the doctor character said, my wife is an elderly primigravida, meaning that it was her first pregnancy at a later age, probably over 35. So that's your definition for today. Now, for our birth at the movies today, I'm going to talk about, yet again, a Korean show that is currently on Netflix at the time of recording. It's called Birthing Center. So in South Korea, they, and in other countries in Asia too, they have these birthing centers. They're called, forgive my pronunciation, they're called Sanchun Choriwon. And they are birthing centers, postpartum centers, where mothers go after giving birth. This is separate from the hospital, and you have to pay separately. And it's kind of like a hotel and birthing center combined, where the mothers are cared for. The partners can also stay there if they need to, if they want to. And then the baby's cared for by postpartum nurses, by baby nurses. And the moms can have breast massages, they can have cooking classes, they attend baby care classes, they have support groups with other moms, and they're pretty much cared for during that postpartum period. So this show talks about one of these centers, and I really love how they picture the different journeys when it comes to feeding, with some mothers breastfeeding, other mothers opting out of breastfeeding, going for bottle feeding. There are different reasons for that. They also talk about perinatal loss and breastfeeding, or producing milk. So it's a show that really talks about the specific needs of the postpartum mother and how different moms go different routes throughout their postpartum. And it also talks about the professionals that care for them. I really encourage you to watch this show if it's available for you. And again, beautiful, magical subtitles. Doesn't matter that it's in Korean, you can listen in your own language, in English. And yeah, a really wonderful show. A really wonderful show and a good opportunity to learn about something that is not done in the US. Postpartum centers are not a thing here, but something that is done in South Korea and other Asian countries that is very, very interesting and a very good way of supporting that postpartum family. So, a good area to reflect for us here in the US. Okay, well, that has been today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time with it. I definitely did. And I hope this is a good resource for you as you prepare to bring a new baby into the family and want to prepare the little siblings. Okay? For now, I am going to say I will see you in next week's episode. And thank you so much for being a part of the conversation today. See you next week. Bye for now. Hey, you have listened to the Wise Doula podcast today. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, everything we discussed today was meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. It does not substitute the advice of your medical provider. Would you do us a favor? Follow me on Instagram at LovingBellyDoula. Also, let me know what other topics you would like to see me discuss in this podcast. And please subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platforms. Thank you so much. I will see you next week.